Hey y'all, this is my review for The Real Housewives of Miami, Season 4, Reunion Part 2 of 2. No more after this, no Part 3 or 4. I'm so glad that they read the room on this franchise. Anywho, I will say I do notice that a lot of people who started Miami didn't really finish it. Like, I feel like I'm one of the few YouTubers that actually finished reviewing the season. I know I was kind of into OC, maybe like 4 or 5 episodes into the beginning, and then I was like, this isn't grabbing me anymore. So then I fell off on OC. I don't really care about it anymore. But Miami, I still stuck with it, and I think the reunion has been going really well so far. But anyway, let's get into part 2. So we left off on the last episode where they were grilling Nicole, and they still are. So Andy jumps to the next topic of, did she tell anybody that she was engaged? So I think she got engaged on New Year's Eve, and I'm guessing all the other ladies are making it a big deal because her good Judy Lisa, who she's the closest with on the cast, didn't even know she was engaged until she announced it to People magazine. I think what Nicole did was she made a deal with People magazine and they wanted the exclusive story, meaning that you couldn't tell anybody. And I wouldn't tell any of these bitches on the cast either because they leaked shit to the press, meaning that would have messed up my deal with People magazine. So I get why she didn't tell anybody. And we see Lisa telling Nicole that, oh, well, I spoke to you on 3 different occasions after you got engaged on New Year's Eve and you didn't tell me anything. I'm guessing from a friend's perspective, if they didn't tell me, then that shows our relationship that we're not that close. But I really think Nicole just wasn't thinking about it. Oh, Marisol is a bitch when it comes to Nicole. She's like, it wasn't even People magazine. It was People magazine online. That is so bitchy. Gertie then kind of points out that Alexia, she got married, not that many people knew. And then I think Nicole tried to piggyback on that. And then Alexia's like, don't compare your engagement to my marriage. Now, Alexia, chill out a little bit. I mean, at least this is Nicole's first marriage, not her third. She could have came at you like that, but I guess she wasn't thinking on her feet. This is her first reunion. They are really trying to jump on Nicole. Like, even Larsa trying to get herself a piece. Jeez, come on, mean girls. Andy then asked Nicole a snarky question, and Nicole has really been put in a hot seat right now. The question is, does she really want some real friendships with the ladies, or does she just want to be on TV? So then she had to go down the line. So Julia, didn't I invite you to my family's Thanksgiving? Adriana, I invited you to my son's 3rd birthday party, right? And then it was like, yup, she invited all of us. No cameras, right? I mean, talk your shit, Nicole. And then Adriana was like, oh yeah, we flew on her private jet to New York to get to this reunion. Now check that. I actually like Nicole more and more as the season progressed. And then especially on the reunion. I just think, she's real, and I really don't think she lies. She doesn't have a reason to. Now, if I'm proven wrong, I'll eat crow. We have Marisol versus Nicole, round 40. We have a back and forth on Marisol sending a text to Nicole saying that, I don't believe you're fake. But in this reunion, she's coming after Nicole. Marisol is like, I never called you fake. I just said I didn't trust you. And it takes me a long time to trust people. All this focus on Nicole right now, I don't know why she's on the very end of the couch, furthest away from Andy. So then Andy asked Nicole about an update between her relationship with her and her father, because we saw on the show that they met up. They have an estranged relationship. He showed up drunk and an asshole. Then she says that it turns out that he is still an asshole even after the show. She said she saw him once after Thanksgiving, came with a raw turkey for her to season and fry, and then he left. So now they switch gears to when the ladies went on the Hamptons trip. First they're talking about how Adriana pulled a Ramona, just hurry up and got naked to just stake a claim in her room. That wasn't hers. Of course what Adriana did is indefensible, so all she's saying is, oh, I just took the master bedroom because me and Julie wanted to get a bigger bed. I didn't want Martina to get the wrong impression. Really? Not for her to get the wrong impression. Did you watch the season? And Larsa says the same thing. Like, girl, stop it. If I am the host of the trip, or it is my birthday, or, y'all, the trip is because of me, I'm getting the biggest room. Like, point blank, period. Not up for discussion. So now we're talking about how Lisa was just a fucking brat just because she couldn't get her own room and how she was acting. I mean, in that situation, I was on Alexia's side. Like, girl, if it's bothering you so much, go to a hotel. Why are you complaining like this? It's not an option. So why you keep talking about it? So now they're going back and forth, and Lisa does apologize, but she calls Alexia defensive in the process. So now we're on Julia's weird behavior on the Hamptons trip. First, the whole proposal to her friend in front of everybody, that was confusing. Andy asked, how far have they gone together? And it looks like they were both going to answer different things. Adriana's going to say, oh, we've never kissed. Julia, however, it looked like she didn't know what to say. And she's like, well, it looks like the furthest we gone was the pickle situation. Then we go back and see how they almost kissed until Julia looked directly into the camera. I'm pretty sure they fucked already. I'm really sure. Like, Martina probably gave her a pass or something like that. They have too much sexual chemistry between each other. It happened. Now we're talking about her mysterious illness to her, which was actually just a hangover. And yeah, girl, you were sick from the alcohol. You got alcohol poisoning, pretty much. So it wasn't COVID. It wasn't this mysterious disease. I mean, everybody thought it was a hangover. That was easy to discuss. Moving on. So next up, it's Lisa in the hot seat. And we're going over her arc throughout the season, which was just, her husband obviously didn't love her. So then we go into a conversation about marriages amongst the ladies and then how children affects relationships. Of course, Gertie has the best insight when it comes to this because she says she's been married for 26 years. She married her high school sweetheart, by the way. I really am fascinated to see how people manage to make marriage work that long. Lisa reveals to everybody that her husband didn't have an emotional affair. Like, he was texting somebody when they were on the verge of getting a divorce / separated. But Andy keeps saying, so he had an emotional affair. He's like, well, I wouldn't call it an emotional affair, but what would you call it if he's texting somebody in an intimate way that's not you? And you said there was no physical intimacy, so I mean, that's all it could have been. So she said when she finally confronted him about this was like a few years ago before she had kids, like he told her that he didn't love her anymore. And she was devastated by that and said that this man was her everything. And that's the problem I have with relationships. Like, I don't want somebody to be my everything. I don't want somebody to complete me. I'm completed before I already get somebody with me. If anything, we enhance each other. And honestly, listen to her speak about her marriage before she had children. It just seemed like he was punishing her for not being able to produce offspring for him. Like, he really sees her as like a trophy wife. And if your goose can't lay a golden egg, then you want to go find another goose. I'm sorry for having that analogy, but it just really seemed like he just treats her as this baby-making trophy wife. She later says that he came to his senses and, she had the children and, they're still working on their relationship now. I don't know, just the way he looked at her throughout the season, I wouldn't be surprised if divorce or an affair is in her future. So then they move on to the next topic, which was all the fluff shit that happened throughout the season. Just fun stuff, drama-free, blah, blah, blah. And then the most important thing that stuck out to me was when Larsa was playing this game and said she was hooking up with a guy with the initials MJ. And then we see Gertie in her confessional saying that, oh, it was Michael B. Jordan, I think I got it. She does not confirm or deny. And being that we know that she loves niggas, I'm pretty sure it was correct. So last but not least, we have Alexia in the hot seat. And as we know, her drama was 80% of the season itself. Like, literally everything was happening or happened to this woman. Like, I felt so bad for her because the majority of it was bad things. So first she talks about her mom's passing, and she says that she canceled her wedding 2 days before it was supposed to happen because her mom got really sick. And then on the day of her wedding day, that's when her mom passed, unfortunately, which is absolutely devastating. And a little side note to something I've been noticing, like when people talk about, a drama or something that really bad happened to them in their lives, like Marisol really interjects and tries to like one-up the situation or kind of like tries to make it about her. Like when Alexia said her mom died on August 25th, Marisol was just comforting her like, oh yeah, my mom's birthday was on August 25th. Like, okay, I mean, that's great, but we're talking about Alexia now. So now we get to the plot line about the dead gay husband. She says she was married to this man for 8 to 9 years, and before the marriage and during the marriage, she questioned his sexuality and he denied both times. My question for the chat is, does anyone know how her husband died? I don't think she addressed that on the show. Because I didn't realize that they were together for so long. Like, if he was still alive, they would still be together. Like, I thought they were in the midst of like a divorce or separation, but they were just still together. And speaking of how he died, Andy then asked Adriana, why would she bring up that, he died while having sex with his male lover in front of the ladies and Alexia, which I thought was extremely inappropriate. And I think Alexia handled that very nicely, because I would have got up and smacked Adriana and then dragged her out of Nicole's house. But Adriana says that this rumor was already out there and she thought that Alexia already knew about it. So then you have the other ladies, including Larsa, saying, well, I didn't know about that. Alexia said she didn't know about that. Adriana is an idiot who obviously fails at recognizing social cues. So now we get to the next dramatic part of Alexia's life, and it was the whole confrontation between her then fiance, and her son. It looks like there was a lot of discussion about Todd's delivery, and after reading y'all's comments and then watching the show, I think I am more so on his side because he was right. Like, her son did wind up in jail, and she does enable him. Like, he was right. And he was speaking from a place of tough love, I think. I still think it was a little harsh, but I do think he wasn't coming from a malicious place. Damn, as they're talking about her son with his disability, she says that he can never have an independent life. And he's 24 now, so... whew, child. Like, I don't know. Like, she must be in constant therapy. I just don't know how she does it. She has my respect just on her resilience alone. So now they're talking about her other son and his recent arrest, and she said it's had no effect on her family whatsoever. Which then Andy brings up, like, how everyone thinks she's enabling her son. And I think it's pretty obvious now watching, but of course she denies that she's an enabler. So finally, after addressing all of Alexia's drama, Andy then just talks about, like how I said, just her resilience of just going through so much dramatic things happening in her life or happening to her, and just asking, how does she get through it? And then, Marisol interjects and says she admires her so much, and her strength actually helps her dealing with the passing of her mom. And then Andy brings up Mama Elsa, who I'm not familiar with. And then Andy brings up Mama Elsa, who I think was a beloved character on the franchise. I wasn't really familiar, but I hear that she was just like a sassy woman that took like screen time from the other ladies because she was so interesting. I mean, most of the reality franchises have like a mama figure, like, Mama Joyce or, Mama D or something like that. So after that, they take a short break, and of course, Marisol has to pee. This is her 6th time throughout this 2-part reunion having to pee. Lord, so the next topic is the feud between Larsa and Adriana involving Kanye West's dick. Lord have mercy. I don't want to think about this. And we have 15 minutes left and they want to talk about this. Now, clearly watching this scene back, Adriana was out of order. They were all having a fun girls kiki, and you know what topics not to address in front of this girl, but you want to bring this up on camera, and then you know how crazy Kanye West is. So then Andy asked Adriana, how did you see the penis? So I'm guessing she was at Art Basel. She said she was at Pharrell Williams' event. Kanye West was there. She went to a bathroom. Well, first she acknowledged how hot Kanye was. Is Kanye West hot to y'all? Even before the madness, I just was never attracted to him. I didn't really see him like that. Anyway, she says she goes to the bathroom, she opens the stall, and she sees him peeing, and she sees his dick. I mean, was it a unisex bathroom? I can honestly see Adriana's crazy ass following him into the men's bathroom just so she can see. Because she's just that unhinged. So then she says she saw it, and now she's describing his penis, and everyone is just cringing on the couch. Larsa throughout this is calling her a liar. She said this happened in December 2012. Jesus, I was still in Atlanta. Yeah, this was a long ass fucking time ago. So this was before crazy Kanye. And Adriana's just talking with such pride. Like, you sound foolish, girl. I can totally see Adriana crazy ass following this man into the bathroom, stalking him, and then asking for a picture when he comes out. Larsa said she talked to Kanye West. I didn't know she still has access to him. But she says that he says he doesn't know you. But yeah, she has this picture and they show it on camera, And I mean, it really doesn't prove anything. And then Larsa's like, yeah, exactly, you're a fan. That's what she is. She's a fan of the Kardashians. She's a fan of Kanye. So now they're going back and forth, and Julia has now entered the chat, and they're talking about Instagram now and how she didn't want to follow Julia because she has 2,000 followers. I mean, Larsa does look like that social media world and likes and shit like that means like everything to her. So I'm not surprised. Like, I'm pretty sure she was really condescending when it came to that. But at the end of the day, Adriana was shitty for trying to bring up Kim Kardashian on camera and Kanye West's penis to Larsa of all people on camera. End of story. Lord, and now we're back to when Julia was on her deathbed from a hangover. Larsa was like, I was crying for you. And then Adriana and Julia was like, no, you weren't. And then all the other ladies are trying to like, back Larsa now. Like, yeah, we were crying. They're going back and forth on something that does not matter. So Larsa's trying to talk and Adriana keeps talking. Andy has had it. Just let her finish. Andy, don't be yelling at the women like that, because you wouldn't want somebody yelling at you. Like when Dorit yelled at Garcelle, a black woman, yes, you as a man, I don't care if you are gay, don't yell at them women like that. Adriana, she's an annoying asshole, yes, but you are still the host. You still need to be professional. Why are you yelling at the talent? I didn't get that. If I was Adriana, I'd been like, who the fuck are you yelling at, sir? Just let her finish! Eyes just coming all out the socket when he said that. I did not expect this Larsa versus Julia feud. Like, Julia just seemed like, so timid, but she's coming for Larsa. Andy then asked Larsa about why she's so uptight about having the Kardashians mentioned, and he said, maybe I can see your point of view because y'all are just now making up, and for them to bring this up, I'm sure it'll bother you. So then Nicole has a question for Larsa saying, how come there's just no NDA? Like, why are you just so concerned about talking about it? And then Larsa was like, well, do you want me to bring up your ex-husband who the school teacher is? And, it doesn't really faze Nicole. She keeps asking her, well, why didn't you bring up the NDA? And then Larsa's like, well, you want to talk about your ex-husband and the school teacher? Andy then asked Larsa about her current relationship with Kim Kardashian. She's saying that they're not there yet where they're friends on Instagram, but they do talk. And she talks to Kanye too. I think I'm with Larsa on this one. Kim and Kanye just so happen to be her friends. They're not that big enough part of her life where they should be mentioned by the cast so much. Now, Scottie Pippen, he is a part of her life. So I wouldn't be surprised if the ladies had questions regarding him. But as far as the Kardashians, I mean, it really is none of their business. Look, personally, the less I hear about the Kardashians, the better. So now they're continuing with the Larsa and Adriana feud, and this is a petty question. So Andy brings up that there's a picture of Adriana in Larsa's opening credits dress, and it turns out that Adriana took that picture first, and Larsa was the one that copied her. But I do gotta admit that Larsa does look better in the dress. She also mentioned that there was a poll that she won too, that she said that she looked better in it. Lord, they are still going back and forth. I mean, I do believe that Adriana is insecure by Larsa, as well as just a little bit jealous. That's what just makes me think that she don't care for her. So then Adriana says that Larsa looks like the Cookie Monster in that dress, and then actually bought cookies to the reunion, walks up to her and lays them in front of her. I mean, that was a good try, but nah, that was lame. At this point, I'm like, what else they have to talk about besides this? So as the reunion is coming to an end, Andy's just going around the room asking the ladies to reflect on the season and what they learned, etc. Amongst this reflection, we get to Adriana apologizing to Larsa and saying that she actually likes her after they just fought probably 30 minutes ago. What? So Larsa says she forgives her, and then Adriana just just gets up and goes over to hug her. Didn't she just call her the Cookie Monster and brought cookies in front of her? So the women are still explaining their takeaways from the season, blah, blah, blah. Nothing really standing out. Fast forward. So after Alexia gives her takeaway and says she's looking forward to another season, Andy then ends the reunion with vodka shots with pickle chasers. And Julia leads the toast, pick up your pickle. Oh, how does she say it? Pick up your pickle, pick up your pickle. She was just so excited for that. And they toast, and that is the end of the reunion. It wasn't that bad. 2 parts was perfect. I think it had the right amount of drama and heart and interest. I think a lot of the other franchises on Bravo can take note. I also heard there's a rumor that they film in a few months. Like season 5 is confirmed. And I'm here for it. Like, I hope there's another season. I really enjoyed this one. I don't think I'll be going back to watch seasons 1 through 3 because I don't really care that much. But yeah, I love this group. This is a great dynamic. Bring Kiki back. Bring Kiki back. Anywho, y'all, please let me know what y'all thought of this season, what y'all thought of this reunion, parts 1 and 2. And yeah, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all for the next episode. Bye.